5,000 reviews, and I would also imagine that about 85% of them are 5-star reviews, and over 90% are positive.
Which, I mean, you know, we at HSN are always excited to see any reviews, but most products typically have 5 to 10 reviews. Andrew's has thousands upon thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. Yes. 100,000 probably a film of a lifetime.
We're getting close to 100,000 reviews, I suspect. So, but the most exciting part is the fact that those reviews are an opportunity for you to get an opinion other than ours. Yeah. Certainly you go online and do research, but how beneficial is it to get insights? I love if Muriel and I are going to, the movies, if we're going to read a book, if we're going to go to a new restaurant, we love to read reviews. And you want to see like a few dozen reviews to make sure that you get a good sampling. How exciting is it for you to know that, say on a product like this, Vitamin K2 MK7, a relatively new product, I suspect there's already a couple hundred reviews on this product. And this product has really not been featured all that much. It was just a Today Special last weekend, but it's one of the most important products. In fact, one of the most common questions I've been asked, if you're taking blood thinners, because vitamin K1 is the vitamin that directly relates to blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is not related to blood clotting. This product has 100 milligrams of vitamin K2, has a small amount of vitamin K1, only 50 micrograms. Show it to your doctor. It should not be problematic at all in terms of if you're on a clotting drug like Coumadin or warfarin. The new class of clotting drugs, you don't have to be concerned about vitamin K, which a lot of people are being switched to the new classes of clotting drugs. I think there's 4 of them out there now. So it's something that vitamin K is unfortunately related to the vitamin K1 in terms of name, but it shouldn't be because its function is entirely different. In fact, I'm actually thinking in the future of redoing all of our K2 formulas. We have a 50, a 100, and a 200. This is the 100. This is what I take. I'm thinking of removing the little bit of K1. It's just a tiny bit of K1 that's in them. I'm thinking of removing it just so it doesn't even have to be a thought or a consideration in terms of the issue of how it might interact with a clotting medication.
We got some questions as well, Andrew, regarding taking different vitamins and them having a cancelling out effect on other ones. How do we respond to that?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any product I make that cancels out another product at all. There are a lot of I'm not sure if I'd call them old wives' tales or things like that, that certain vitamins have an adverse impact on other vitamins or will interfere with their absorption, that if you take calcium magnesium in the presence of our fiber, if you take our omega-3s in presence of our fiber mucil, it will interfere with its absorption. There is no science that I'm aware of that would validate or support that at all. And if anything, a fiber-rich diet is not associated with reduced nutrient intake. And if it was, I would still eat a fiber-rich diet, because a fiber-rich diet is one of the most important things we could do. We're not talking about fiber right now, but it's one of the most important things we could do in terms of our colon health, in terms of our overall health, because a more fiber-rich diet is a diet that's associated with lower levels of cholesterol, associated with all sorts of reduced risks of other health issues. So fiber is an important part of a healthy diet. It's not a typical part of a processed food diet the way we eat in America, not a typical part of a diet that's rich in animal product, because there's no fiber in animal products. But before we run along on vitamin K2 MK7, I spoke about it a bunch last weekend, but whether you supplement calcium, whether you get your calcium from your diet, or whether you're just getting along with the calcium that's already in your bones, vitamin K2 MK7 is just like vitamin D. I have been saying this since we introduced K2 MK7. It's probably the most underestimated of vitamins in terms of its overall importance to our long-term health. And because managing calcium, keeping it in our bones, that's all about, over the course of our lifetime, avoiding osteoporosis, osteopenia, and having a strong, healthy skeleton. So it's great to keep it in our bones. Also, keeping it out of arterial tissues and other tissues, avoiding that calcification, is also part of reducing, over the course of our lifetime, our risk of heart disease. So we want to manage our calcium effectively. The latest research on vitamin K2 MK7 says it's an integral part of how our body manages calcium, keeps it where it's supposed to be, avoids it going to where it shouldn't go.
It's available again, special pricing only until midnight. We're going to head over this way. If you're still thinking about what maybe you could be adding to your daily routine,